Today we covered rounding decimals, and in the examples that we see here, we're going to round each one to the place of the underlying digit. In number 1, the 7 is underlined, so if we count out decimal places, we would know the 6 is in the 10th place, the 7 is in the 100th place, so we're rounding to the nearest 100th. In order to determine if this 7 will stay 700ths or round up to 800ths, we have to look at the digit behind it. Since the digit behind the 7 is a 3, which by our rules is less than 5, that's going to tell us that the 7 will stay the same. All the places in front of the place we're rounding will remain the same, and the decimal place behind it will just be dropped off. Instead of making it a 0, like we would in whole number rounding with decimals, we just drop that 0 off, and if we're rounding to the nearest 100th, our answer will end in hundredths. For number 2, we're rounding the 2, and this 2 is right behind the decimal in the 10th place, so we're rounding to the nearest 10th. If we look behind the 2, there's an 8. The 8 by our rule is in the grouping of 5 or more, so that's going to tell us that the 2 needs to round up to 3/10. All the places in front of the one we're rounding remain the same. We're going to drop off the 2 decimal places behind the 3. Since we were rounding to the nearest 10th, our answer will end in tenths. In number 3, we're rounding the 2, which is right in front of the decimal. That is the ones place, so we're rounding to the nearest 1 or to the nearest whole number. If we look behind the 2, there's a 9. The 9 by rule is 5 or more, so it's going to tell us we're going to round the 2 up to a 3, and our answer will be 13. When we're rounding the whole number portion of a number, we do not need the decimal or the decimal places behind it, so our answer would simply be 13. In problems number 4 and 5, the rounding's been done for us. We just need to tell which place value was rounded. And in number 4, we have 982 thousandths was rounded to 98 hundredths. Well, to determine the place to which it was rounded, we just look at the last place value column. The last place is the hundredths place, so that means that this decimal was rounded to the nearest hundredth. In number 5, 3 and 695 thousandths was rounded to 4. The 4 is a whole number, it is in the ones place, so the ones column was rounded.